On today's installment of Silver Screen News, the box office results from Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. Gargoyles is getting a live action movie. Did Fox trick Halle Berry into signing on for X-Men The Last Stand? And make sure you stay tuned until the end to find out how Robin Williams is returning from the dead to voice Genie again.
And we're going to go back in the decades to celebrate Throwback Thursday, all on Silver Screen News.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again right here on Silver Screen News. This is your weekly news show. What you're going to see is a little bit different if you're a regular watcher. We're going to start doing a different format now. Just stay tuned to the channel, like and subscribe, and you'll see what happens. It's not going to affect your viewing in any way. You will get regular news. If anything, it's going to be more regular. I'm Nico Liro. He's AJ. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's cut straight to our first news story. And AJ, we got to talk box office because it's when the video airs, it's Wednesday. That's just what we do. Taylor Swift, AJ. Well, we knew it was going to break the internet, and it kind of broke the internet. Sort of broke the internet. Here's the full story. Taylor Swift, the box office Eras Tour opening has lowered to 92.8 million. Remembering people thought it was going to make 100 million, but it still belts out record numbers. Swift's movie had hoped to clear 100 million domestically, but is already in the top grossing concert film of all time in North America and the second biggest October opening of all time. Wow. Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, may have fallen short of an expected 100 million box office debut, but still belted out big numbers in North America thanks to the superstar's powerful fandom, the Swifties. According to final weekend tallies, the female-fueled pick opened to 92.8 million from 3,850 theaters. That's also behind Sunday's estimate of between 95 million and 97 million. AMC Theaters, which is distributing the movie, broke from the norm in not giving a specific Sunday estimate, which is always provided by a Hollywood studio. Instead, it waited until Monday to declare an official box office gross. AJ, Taylor Swift doing well at the box office. Is this in any way a surprise to you, or do you think the movie underperformed?
Look, the Swifties are there, and I think one thing we have to recognize, that is huge numbers for essentially a concert in a cinema. You know, let's look at the real facts of it. This is a concert in a cinema that has done that number. So I would say nothing more than congratulations. It's not a box office movie of its traditional format. You know, it's not something that you're going to follow for the plot points. This is, oh, I wasn't able to go live, or maybe I did go to see it live, and I've now got a chance to relive it on the big screen. And people have put that much in it. That's interesting. That's the power of Taylor Swift. That's the power of the Swifties.
I've said this before. I think it's a very, very clever move by the studios. Yeah, the writer's strike is over, but the actor's strike doesn't show any sign of letting up. If anything, it's taken a step back in the last few days. If you know, you know. But this is a great way to get bums in seats and to make sure that people are still in love with cinema, give the people what they want. The Swifties want Taylor Swift. You put her in a big budget production on the big screen. This is just good for everyone, whether you're a Swiftie or not. I'm probably not going to go and see this movie because I'm not the target demographic. I'm not a Swiftie, but I don't hate Swift. I'm happy this movie's done well. And that's pretty much all I got to say on it. Do I think it underperformed, though? A little bit, yeah. I genuinely thought it would make closer to 125 million. I thought it would easily break 100 million. But yeah, anything you want to add on that?
Credit to it. Credit to it. I understand what you're saying about the numbers, but as I said, this isn't what I anticipated to be a big thing. It's a concert, and it's done it. So well done to the Swifties and Taylor Swift.
It's huge. So yeah, well done to Taylor. Well done to everyone involved. The production looks incredible. And we move on to our next story. Animation. It's a wonderful world of animation. And I want to talk to you about Gargoyles. Now, back when Disney Plus arrived, and we started looking at what was available on it. One of the first things I saw, I'm pretty sure I messaged you about this. I was like, oh my God, AJ, Gargoyles. Like, freaking Gargoyles. It's Gargoyles is on Disney Plus. Oh, it's a wonderful thing that Gargoyles is on Disney Plus. And we're now for one of my favorite animated TV shows of all time. It's supposedly getting a live action version from James Wan. Woo!
Interesting.
Gargoyles live action series reboot in the works at Disney Plus from Gary Dalberman with James Wan's Atomic Monster. Gargoyles could finally be returning to television with a live action reboot series currently in the works at Disney Plus. Variety has confirmed that the Disney streaming service is working with writer Gary Dalberman and James Wan's Atomic Monster to develop a live action version of the beloved animated show. Dalberman would serve as writer and executive producer, with Wan also executive producer. Disney branded television is the studio. The current logline for the project reads, based on the cult classic Disney animated series, Goliath is the last of a heroic race of gargoyle warriors who once lived among mankind. Free from a centuries-long curse that turned him into stone, Goliath struggles to solve the mystery of his past while watching over modern-day New York City alongside police detective Elisa Mazer. AJ, are you excited about this? And do you think you're going to now go back and watch the animation?
But here's the funny thing. I've been excited, and it's weird because I heard Ryan Reynolds was doing something with Gargoyles as well. So now to hear a live action, there's a lot of love around the Gargoyles. There are two animations that were missed from my childhood, which I know are loved by many. And they are Gargoyles and the Biker Mice from Mars. I just didn't really get the opportunity to catch either of those because they weren't Saturday morning cartoons. They were weekday morning cartoons, and I couldn't watch TV in the mornings going off to school. So it's interesting, and the love that I know my circle of friends have for this tells me there's nothing but good from it. Now you mix the name James Wan with that. Take that money, sir. Take that money. It sounds like a very exciting project. And yeah, finally give me a chance to enter that world. I don't really see where a negative can come from it. Like, one knows how to handle a camera, and I'm hoping I can get some tasteful CGI. And may I also add, this proves what happens when you have the right Dave in the right chair at Disney. Just saying.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's the CG that's got me interested, because up until now, the idea of doing a live action Gargoyles, despite the fact that I adore Gargoyles, despite the fact that the subject matter lends itself perfectly to be adapted into live action, Gargoyles is dark with a little bit of levity and a really good kind of romantic storyline. I don't mean romantic as in rom-com. I mean romantic like a tragic romance, you know. It's a very poetic story, the Gargoyles, and it would lend itself perfectly to live action. But a movie wouldn't be serving it well enough. It needed to be a series because there's so much story to tell. You can't get it into 1 hour and a half to 3 hours. It's too much. But I've been worried up until now about how do you get something looking good on TV? Well, listen, whether you love or hate the Disney Plus live action Star Wars shows, I'm in between. Some of them I love, some of them I really don't have time for. What is beyond question is, my God, they look good. There are times where you're looking at it and you're going, this is TV? Like, Jesus wept. This, like Loki season 2, for example, Loki season 1 even, that they look so good that you were like, this is movie quality. We've transcended, you know, the stereotypical traditional TV budget look here. We are in a place now where TV can look AAA blockbuster level. And if that's where we're at, this is the perfect time to make Gargoyles. Boss Logic, shout out to him, has already put one of his, personal animations of how a live action Gargoyles would look. Just go check him out on Instagram. Oh, if it looks like that, yeah, sign me the hell up right now.
It's been a while since I've been on Boss Logic's page. Oh, I remember the early days of Boss Logic. Absolute genius. Genius.
Oh, he is. He is a genius. He absolutely is a genius. But yeah, as you said, James Wan being associated with this is just like 10 points. I'm there. Sign me up right now. All right. Let us know what you guys think. Are you excited for a live action Gargoyles? Thoughts and comments down below. Up next, AJ. Bit of a scandal. We got a scandal here. So, back in the day, before Was it Brett Ratner who directed X-Men Last Stand?
I know he's
Brett,
done X2. I think he might have been behind 3 as well.
I think he did 3. Check that out for me, but
I'm checking it while you
I'm pretty sure it was
continue.
Brett Ratner. He wasn't meant to be the director of X-Men The Last Stand. The director of X-Men The Last Stand was originally meant to be the amazing Matthew Vaughn, and a story has broken about why Matthew Vaughn
Yeah, it was Ratner.
did not direct X-Men The Last Stand, and it's quite the scandal. Matthew Vaughn says he quit X-Men The Last Stand after schemed to deceive Halle Berry into signing for return with a fake Storm script. Whoo! So, Matthew Vaughn is opening up about one of the reasons he had for quitting directing X-Men The Last Stand. The director revealed during New York Comic Con he left the film after finding out a scheme to get Halle Berry to sign on to reprise her role of Storm by tricking her with a fake script. One of the main reasons I quit X-Men 3, and this is a true story. Hollywood is really political and odd, he said during New York Comic Con. I went to an executive's office and I saw an X3 script. It was a lot fatter. I asked, "What is this draft?" They were like, "Don't worry about it." He continued, so I grabbed it and opened the first page and it said Africa, kids dying from no water, and Storm creates a thunderstorm to save all these children. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I said, "Who is this?" They said, "This is the Halle Berry script because she hasn't signed on yet. This is what she wants it to be. And once she signs on, we'll throw it out, we'll throw it in the bin." I thought, if you're going to do that to an Oscar winning actress who plays Storm, I quit. I thought I'm mincemeat. Vaughn would drop out of directing the X-Men film and went on to direct Stardust. Berry ultimately signed up to reprise the role of Storm in the 2006 film that ended up being directed by Brett Ratner. The scene that was described in the fake script did not make the final cut of the film. In 2011, Vaughn returned to the Marvel Comics world to direct X-Men First Class, a reboot of the franchise that was ultimately retconned to serve as a prequel to the previous X-Men. AJ, quite the story. What do you make of all this?
See, I remember hearing Halle Berry wasn't coming back. I remember, I'm sure I remember around the time, now this is going back a good few years, she wasn't going to be an X3. And I remember seeing her and like, oh, Halle's there. Now, I remember it wasn't the world's, I mean, it's not the world's greatest film, but it wasn't the world's greatest length of display in the film either. That's deep. I'm actually shocked and disgusted. I mean, I was actually shocked and disgusted. I couldn't even imagine how she felt. That is harsh as hell. I'm, ooh. I mean, I understand Matthew Vaughn walking away from that, but that is,
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of lost for words. I mean, you hear of trickery, but you'd think there's some kind of clause, isn't it? But to say you sign someone on, you've created a part of a script, and the sad thing is, it probably would have helped the film because that film needed all kinds of help. So
Yeah.
you're like, fruit, and do you know what? If I want to, dare I say it's a bit of karma, because I think through all the arrogance and trickery that happened, you got one of the worst films that the X-Men franchise has ever released. So in a way, like obviously it's a sad day for all cast members, but for the big wigs, serve you right, because that kind of trickery should not be. You know, no vengeance. You shouldn't have got away with that scot-free. So yeah, that's why your film bombed. Disgusting.
It really is disgusting. And I think it's, not only did the film bomb, but they lost one of the finest filmmakers in the world in Matthew Vaughn. I have to say, on the note of Matthew Vaughn, I mean, words cannot express enough how gross this is as far as Halle Berry is concerned. But as far as Matthew Vaughn's concerned, I wonder what sort of hot water he's going to get himself in now. Because, the directors are the superstars and the actors are the superstars. But let us not forget the studios are the all powerful. It's that old Chris Rock joke, isn't it? Shaq is rich. The white dude who signs his checks is wealthy. In this scenario, you're messing with the white dude who signs the checks. And things like this do get out, and it will. I worry if it will make. It could go one of two ways. Given the world we're living in, the studios could, God forbid, behave. Less likely, or it might really turn studios off working with Matthew Vaughn. I don't know. It's an interesting one, but I love the fact that, dude.
No, here's my thing.
Go on.
The studios maybe, but let's be real. This is Fox. He's made sure that Fox was very deep in the dirt before he
Yeah.
revealed what he had to say. You know, it's not a stab at Disney. It's a gone company. It's not that company anymore. So with that, yes, he's done it, but he's made sure they were deep in the dirt before he revealed it. Like, this isn't 2 years after the film was released.
No,
So
that's a very good point. That it was, you know, for it, but it does show that he's not afraid to throw dirt at executives,
yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
it's like Matthew, tale of you know, story of two tales here. On the one hand, infinite respect for you for throwing shade where shade needs to be thrown and actually, you know, shedding light on this matter. Well done. Careful, like be very careful. Like that. An immense credit to you for walking away too. Like, well done. Yeah, scandalous story. But now, guys, we asked you to stay until the end. Kind of at the end of our news segment now. Robin Williams is back, AJ. But how?
see, I'm scared to give the answer to this. I'm going to let you read it, and I'm scared because while it's good news, I feel like it deviate. Anyway, I'll let you read it and see if I'm right, and then we'll take it further.
I think I know what you're thinking, and I'm very happy to tell you you're not right. Which,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I had a feeling you were leaning down the old artificial intelligence route, but it's not, thankfully.
Good. Good, good, good.
Robin Williams returns as the Genie in Disney's 100th anniversary story. The Genie is back in Disney's 100th anniversary story, Once Upon a Studio. Originally appearing in the classic Disney Aladdin, the Genie has returned to celebrate the studio's 100th anniversary, and using some movie magic is once again voiced by Robin Williams. Williams passed away in 2014, so how did Disney do this without AI? It went back to the archives to find unused voice lines from the original film and asked the Williams estate's permission to use them. We tried to take them on the journey with us to say, we've got this very special short that we're doing. Robin as the Genie means so much to so many people, and we would really love to involve him, said producer Bradford Simonson in an interview with Variety. The beloved character was a huge hit when Aladdin debuted in 1992. So, as part of Disney's 100-year anniversary celebrations, it was vital to get the character back, and only Williams' zany charm would do. So, director Dan Abraham listened to the outtakes from the original recordings and he found those little bites that we could use, said Simonson. We went back to the estate and said, this is what we hope to do. Eric Goldberg, who originally animated the Genie, is on the show and he's going to be part of it. And it was wonderful to see that happen. Once Upon a Studio uses a combination of live action footage, hand drawn animation, and CGI animation to recreate 543 classic Disney characters. Some of the most recognizable include Mickey Mouse, Elsa, and Anna from Frozen, Winnie the Pooh and Friends, and Peter Pan. The short film sees the iconic characters come to life at Disney Studios once everyone has gone home for the night, with their shenanigans shining a spotlight on Disney's long animated history. It's, is that it? They all gone? Sorry. Is that it? They all gone? Whispers Mickey in the film's teaser trailer. Characters soon begin clambering out of their frames and artwork once the coast is clear, and it sets the stage for a cute bit of nostalgia to celebrate 100 years of animation. Oh, AJ, take it away.
This sounds like it's Fantasia meets Toy Story or something, and for all of that, I love it. It sounds really great, and the fact that there is some unused footage of Robin Williams, and it's not gone to waste. They're going to use it as a treasured memory and give us something fresh from the Genie. There's nothing to hate on this. It's just heartwarming. You know, in a world of AI and where we're guaranteed, you know, we've got actors who are looking for guarantees and whatnot, and you think, oh gosh, is this what the future looks like? And don't get me wrong, as much as I say this, you know, you've got the ABBA experience. We've seen Tupac live on stage after they've long gone. It can be nice that, you know, artificial intelligence and holograms do work. But to say that there isn't a single piece of Robin Williams footage or voice recordings going to waste is amazing and touching, and it just seems fitting because, again, when anytime we do a top 10 or we do anything, Aladdin is always very high up. It's always got a lot of love from both of us, and I don't think we're alone in that. Our generation have nothing but love for that, and it is essential in this 100-year journey for that to be recognized. So where the kid who done the voice of Simba has now grown and his voice cannot be that anymore, because I don't think he can recreate Simba. This is something that is to be treasured and for us to all sit back and love. So I'm looking forward to it. There's nothing but a warm heart on my end from hearing this.
I'm going to cry. It's going to absolutely break me, as I'm sure it is so many people. I love the premise of it. I love the celebration of 100 years of animation. The reason I'm saying it like that is, let us not forget Bob Chapek is the guy, now fired, thankfully, who didn't believe in animation, who didn't want to put money towards Disney animation, who wanted to put Pixar straight to streaming. And as you called him out a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now, I said, recognize where you come from, dude. Like, you are the House of Mouse and you're not respecting the mouse or the animation. You said this. And here we are, Bob Chapek gone. And we're getting this love letter to 100 years of animation. I smell Bob Iger.
Yeah.
Papa? Big Papa? Papa Iger?
The
I smell Big Papa Iger back in the chair, AJ. Oh, and it smells
right
good.
Bob
Now,
is
I
back.
have been on record saying you're not going to see the big things like the Star Wars and the MCUs have a major turnaround for the next 2 to 3 years. Little things like this smells of Bob, and it smells good. I'm so
Not
happy to
Chapek
see
when you
things
say
like
Bob.
this.
Not Chapek.
Nah, Iger. Bob Iger, and I'm so happy to see things like this happening at Disney again. It's wonderful, and I really love the fact that they actually had the respect to go to Robin Williams' estate and ask his daughter's permission to do this. Like, well done, all round, well done.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Right, AJ. So that's it for the news this week. Let's get to feel old as we head down TBT Boulevard for some Throwback Thursday.
Okay, get your hashtags up. It's that time where we travel through the decades to celebrate films released this week in the world of cinema.
Yes, we're going back 20 years and 30 years this week, AJ, because 20 years old. What I always thought was your favorite movie until we did that 2 years ago and you proved me wrong. 20 years old is Kill Bill Volume 1.
So, bit of a spoiler. I can't remember what it was, but something came up and I knew this was coming. I couldn't remember what week, but I knew it was coming. And honestly, never have I felt older. Because there are certain things, you can go back 30 years, you can go back 10 years, and oh my God, did that happen? Something like Kill Bill, which has been near and dear to me for the longest time. And I remember, I always say The Matrix is a gone era, but Kill Bill just still felt, it doesn't have to age. As long as you've shot it correctly, it doesn't have to age. There's not that much CG in it and stuff like that to make you feel, oh, that's a dated year. I'm now here going, one of my favorites, I think it's at number 2 in the AJ Pantheon of favorite films, is 20 years old. I remember, I think I was on a bus at the time and I sat back and I went, where has the time gone? Where has the time gone? For anyone not familiar with it, it's the story of a female assassin who was part of a major team, and they betrayed her at her wedding and left her for dead. She's now woken up and she's on a quest for revenge, and she's going to get all of them, including Bill, hence Kill Bill. What a story. It's Uma Thurman at her absolute best, as far as I'm concerned. People can have their other things and say whatever they want, but this is the one for me for Uma Thurman. I just love absolutely everything about it. I know it has to be a bit of a cosign if it has to be a GOAT status. For me, it definitely is GOAT status. But if it doesn't qualify for that, it definitely gets the 2 thumbs up. Bring it out. Yeah, because yes, this to me is like the other side of Tarantino. You got the quirk, but it's still, yeah, I just love it. There's no 2 sides of it. Yes, you got your Pulp Fiction side and then you got your action side of Tarantino. I love what he delivered in this. Part 1, Part 2, give it all to me. The whole bloody saga, I believe it's called. Yeah, but yeah, GOAT status for me all day long.
Yeah, this is very much Tarantino because Tarantino, if you've read his autobiography, Shooting from the Hip, which if you haven't, I thoroughly recommend it. Great book. Um, he talks a lot about his cinema influences and how he liked the old Sonny Chiba movies and the old China police dramas and the Hong Kong kung fu movies and this is very and the Japanese samurai movies. This is very much kind of a love letter to all of that, especially part one. Doing things like putting Hattori Hanzo in there, who was a real person. This isn't a Tarantino invention. Hattori Hanzo was real. He was a swordsmith. And to put things like that in the movie was just like, well done. And who played Hattori Hanzo? Sonny Chiba. I was like,
Yeah.
well done. Like, okay, we've gone quite deep here with our love for the Far East here. I respect that. And the story is engaging. It's got witty dialogue. It's got very memorable dialogue. Not infinitely quotable, the likes of Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, but memorable. Wiggle your big toe, things like that. It's got larger than life characters, which you need. Oren Ishii, I think, is one of the great modern villains. I think she's the best of the Deadly Viper assassination gang by far. Yeah, I love this film. It's not quite GOAT for me, but it does get 2 thumbs up.
Oh, when you go back to Orenishi, sorry, just to quote that line, the quotable line. If anybody would like to bring up my mixed heritage once again, now's the time. Oh, chills just remembering it. Oh, love it.
Yeah, no, she's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And 30 years old, AJ. This made me feel this. Wow. 'Tis the season, nearly. But it's definitely the season to be creeped out because AJ, 30 years old, is the Nightmare Before Christmas. What a wonderful, wonderful movie. An inventive take on the various seasons, although we only ever see 2 of them, which are obviously Christmas and Halloween. Brilliant songs, wonderful stop motion animation, really, really good voice acting, a memorable villain in Oogie Boogie. Jack Skellington isn't even really a hero. He's kind of an antagonist, and you just happen to be along for the ride for him. Like, I wouldn't say Jack is a good person. His whole premise is, I found Christmas Town. Now I'm going to steal Christmas and make it spooky and scare the crap out of kids on Christmas instead of Halloween. Like, yeah. And then they kidnap Santa, and there's a whole thing. It's fantastic. It's a really well-made, tight, beautifully animated short story. Again, not is it GOAT? It's not quite GOAT, but it is 2 thumbs up for me, definitely.
I'm going to agree with you. I was very, very late. Silver Screen Dudes had started when I saw this for the first time, and
Oh wow.
it didn't appeal to me, funny enough, when I first heard of it. But the love you had for it, my sister's boyfriend has a lot of love for it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. Like, what is this really about? Let me go a bit deeper. And the concept is something I'm really interested in as well, seeing that each town represents the different holidays and visiting it, stuff like that. And, it has scope for sequels to visit the other towns. In a way, there's something to be visited in that. But what I did see after, I was really impressed by it. And it's not the kind of musical I'd overly endorse, but I still love it. Like, the songs don't stick with me like other musicals have, but the story and the delivery, that I do. And for that, it also does get 2 thumbs up for me because it's something I would highly recommend to be seen by anyone who hasn't seen it. It's not something you can let go by. I feel if you appreciate film and you like different concepts, this is definitely something to endorse.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So with that, guys, we're going to wrap the show there. And the show, as you've seen, is a lot shorter because we're trying to bring you more than 1 show a week now. We're aiming for 2, maybe 3 news shows. Throwback Thursday is going to be a thing of the past. We're just going to focus on the one movie each week, irrespective. We'll go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Doesn't matter. We're going to focus on one classic movie every week. We'll do a joint review together. It'll be a bit more in-depth than what Throwback Thursday has been up until now. So, it really gives you a chance to grind your teeth on hopefully some classic movies that you haven't seen. And if you have seen them, you can reminisce with us. So the news show will be shorter. Throwback Thursday will be shorter. There'll be a lot more shorts coming out. There'll be some trailer reactions coming in starting probably in 2024 after the Christmas period. There's a lot of fresh stuff happening on the channel. We have slowed down a bit in our growth, but if you do like movies, tell a friend to tell a friend, and do hit the subscribe button. And please bring some other movie fans along to the channel. We'd love to see you here.
That's the one. Okay, guys. Again, it is just spread the word, and we will catch you in the week. Next week, it's all building. Just keep at it. Just make sure that the notification bell is on. That's the main thing. So as the content drops, you'll be in it, and that's what it's all about. So until the next time, I am the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
I'm Nicolero, and we will see you guys on the next news show right here on the Silver Screen Dudes. Bye, guys.